Works for me. There we go. Burr, burr, burr. What's happening, everybody? It's Jimmy Doane Show live on YouTube at 4 o'clock New York time. Sunday and Wednesday we do this right here. And you can find us in video format also on Twitter, sometimes on Facebook, and audio around the web at Libsyn, Google, Spotify, right there next to Joe Rogan. It's interesting. All right, I swear we just tested this out. So anyway, today's the 13th day of December 2020. And it's working, right? Move a little bit. Oh, nope, see, you're frozen.
I'm frozen again.
Aha! I tell you what, I swear you were...
I was doing well earlier, and now I'm frozen.
Seconds ago. This is top of the line equipment here. Well, I know how to fix this.
You do?
Fortunately. As crazy as it sounds. For now, we will start, and within seconds, I will have your audio up there. So, let's see. You can go ahead.
Is our audio on?
Yeah, the audio's working.
Okay, the audio's okay. Well, let me, as you just said, it's December 13th, 2020, Sunday. A few quick notes. Bitcoin has risen to over 19,000.
I saw that.
19,161. Gold stayed the same, roughly. And I also signed on to the new website called Rumble. And apparently that's going to be a replacement. There's a bunch of people that are going over there who don't want to be censored.
Oh yeah, is that the new Facebook?
That's a kind of, I think it is. It's either a new Facebook or YouTube. I forget which, but it's supposed to be wide open. There's 2 or 3 of them that are coming on now, and I didn't get them all, but I did go over to sign on the Rumble, thing, whatever it is, and now I'm allowed to publish. Now, Rumble has of course, as a lot of them do, they've got what happened? I'm still frozen.
Well, you started for a second, and then it froze you in some kind of weird
God, great.
zombie.
Just great, yeah, albino. Anyway, nope, still frozen. Still frozen.
Yeah, I see that. I saw it.
So anyway, I thought I'd go ahead and give that a shot. I'm going to try it out because there's a lot of people now. More and more folks are really upset. And here's another one just recently. On Saturday, yesterday, Twitter temporarily blocked users from liking or replying to tweets made by the President Trump, who spent much of the morning in a tirade against the U.S. Supreme Court, Attorney General Bill Barr, and Rhino Republicans, Republican is name only, governors of Georgia and Arizona. So Twitter has unilaterally said, if you want to comment or heart or whatever it is on the president's tweets, no go, doesn't work. That click button doesn't work. So they've decided,
They really singled him out for that.
They did.
I mean, I know they've been putting those little blue notices on his
That's right.
stuff,
They put the blue
but
notices
now you
on.
can't even like it.
Another one that was singled out, I think we talked about last time, was Zero Hedge,
Yeah.
who is now, I think, is in the process of desperately trying to move over to Rumble, which is one of the reasons I went there, because I like Zero Hedge.
Okay. Well, yeah, Zero Hedge is on Parler also.
Okay, right. And of course I have some... Now, the other little minor problem with Zero Hedge is he's decided to monetize it.
Okay.
And normally that wouldn't be bad, except I'm still an albino.
Well, I got you.
At any rate, he's decided to really charge a huge amount of money. I don't think that when people realize that they now need to monetize their broadcast or webcast or whatever they want to call it, don't think that the problem is that everybody's doing $5 a month just about. Well, you know, it doesn't take long before that's real money. And I mean, like, for instance, when you do Amazon Prime
Yeah.
and YouTube, those have gone up now. They're like $10, $11 or whatever a month for the streaming stuff. And so you have to ask yourself, are these the little political pundit people, are they worth that kind of money? You know,
I don't pay any of them, man.
I know. Well, that's what Zero Hedge has decided. He wants to charge $1 a week, which sounds not like much at first, but that's $30 a month. Yeah. And you know, now he still has a free version that has all the ads in it.
Right.
Fortunately, the ads are well, you know, you can skip right past them. It's not a big deal. One of the things that I did find as far as monetizing stuff was this streaming movie thing called IMBD or something. Yeah. And unfortunately, they have ads in the movies. And the ads are about 2 minutes long, and they have like 5 of them per movie. Not too bad. Could be worse because you can turn it off. Unfortunately, I found a series in there that Miss Jimmy's crazy about. She has been when these series were free on I forget where they were, but they were free. One was Death in the Caribbean, which is not there anymore, but that it had like 6 years, and she loved that. We used to watch that. We went through it like twice. She was so crazy about it. So I had to find another Brit mystery type thing,
right?
And it's called Midsummer Murders.
Okay,
been around forever, and it was free. You know, a couple of years ago it was free. I watched some of it. Now it's on IMDb, and they have ads in it, about 5 ads.
But now, you know, IMDb does have a pro.
I was looking. I was going to see if they do.
Well, I had it for a little while because what IMDb stands for is, of course, Internet Movie Database.
Okay, right.
And what it does is it's not. It didn't start off as a streaming service. It was a sort of a resume holding place.
Right, research
for actors and for producers and for movie people.
Yeah,
you can find out who's in what. It's, you know, everybody's got. I've got an IMDb page.
Ah, okay.
So I've got, you know, 2 credits or something on something, but there's I was paying for Pro for a while because then you get more access to other information about the producers and stuff like that.
Okay. How much
like
is
their
Pro?
agents. That one's kind of expensive because, like I said, it's sort of a professional tool type of
Rich
thing.
people.
Yeah, $15 a month, I think.
Okay.
Is
still that's not $30 a month like Zero Hedge was.
Well, no, if it's $4 a week, that's
no, it was $1 a day. I mean, $1 a week.
$1 a week is only $4 a month.
No. Then that isn't what it was. It was $1 a day.
All right. Well, $1 a day is $30.
And I read the comments, and they said, "What, are you crazy?
Right.
You know, nobody's going to be paying that kind of money. That's $350 a year. I mean, your stuff's not worth that much."
No news is worth that. You get it secondhand. Like I said, I can read Zero Hedge on Parler.
Right.
You know, I don't know how much.
He still does have a freebie that has the ads in it, such as Facebook does. When you see all the posts, about every 3rd item is an ad, and of course they're targeted. I mean, it's interesting. I noticed here recently that about every 3rd or 4th Facebook post was for some new apartments out here on 39th Avenue that they're trying to fill up. I mean.
Their AI is getting better at targeting.
Well, I'll tell you,
it knows what age I am. You know, I get balding things and whatever. You know, all the dating.
Well,
dating for seniors.
They know what age I am too, and I get.
You get porn and stuff.
No. I get cremation services.
Cremation, right? Wouldn't you like to buy a nice plot?
Yeah. At any rate. The Midsummer Murders is. I want to recommend it because it's really. We're starting.
All right. Since we're talking movies or TV shows, have you seen Expanse yet?
No.
Okay. This one, it looks good.
Okay.
Now I think it might be Amazon Prime.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Okay. So anyway, that's a new Trekkie.
Okay, I've heard about it, and I haven't started to watch it yet. Another one that has come highly recommended is one called Manx.
What's that about?
I think it's a movie.
Okay.
And it's all in black and white, and it's come highly recommended, and it has to do with
Black and white?
Yes, black and white. At least they have white, it's not just black. No. Two things, speaking of black, but it has to do with the rise of Orson Welles, told from an insider Hollywood viewpoint.
Okay.
And apparently it's a really good movie. I haven't seen it all yet, but I've seen it. I started to see some of it at any rate. Speaking of black, I want to mention, again, if I didn't already, there's a group that is advertising all the time now on Facebook called the Mona Lisa Twins. It's two girls, and I guess they're in their mid-20s, early 20s or something. They're guitar people, and they've got a band, and they play at the Cavern, and they have apparently a big long video of 20, and they try and sell their DVD, CD or whatever on their site. I went through, and of course they did one thing that's nice, and that is they gave you a 25-second preview of all the covers. They cover especially the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, all that whole genre. They cover.
So what? They're black girls?
No, they're totally white twins. And
why did you say?
Black is because the one song they do that I have listened to is called the Rolling Stones. Black. What is it? Come on, the Rolling Stones one that has something about black. Come on, give me the title of the
Rolling Stones. Okay.
It's something in black or whatever it is. It's a great song. Whatever it is, look it up. Black Rolling Stones, whatever it is. But
one of your faves, obviously.
Well, yeah, no. But I mean that particular cover is probably better than the Stones, which is hard to believe. Yeah, it's really good. They do a great job. They have a thing like, if you get a chance to listen, God, what is it called? Spiritually in Black or something.
They'll find it. They'll find it.
Right. Anyway, great cover and everything. Now, speaking of places to go, if for us conservative type people, there is one that is on. There's an outfit called Go Comics.
Okay.
And what they do is they archive all the comic strips. I mean everything you can imagine.
Okay.
And so for years.
About like newspaper comic strips?
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, newspaper comic strips. And they are. There's no censorship. They just put them out there. I mean, conservative.
Charlie Hebdo.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, almost. But the one that I love the most is if you've ever seen it, you can have some fun. They've got about a number of years of Michael Ramirez.
Who's he?
Michael Ramirez is one of the premier cartoonists. His artistry is beautiful. His artistry is almost as good as Berkeley Brethren.
Does he have a strip that we know of?
Yes, he does have a strip. He has an editorial cartoon.
Okay.
It's one square. It's like what McNally used to do before he died, unfortunately.
So is he the editorial guy?
Yeah, an editorial. These are editorial cartoons, and and he's been around forever. I mean, one of the fun things you can do, and again, I'm not going to mention WW today. Starts with West and ends with Wing.
Right. Yeah, right.
You know, where the stuff is so prescient.
Yeah,
but what's
16 minutes in.
16 minutes, that's right. Well, let me finish here, because this is information you need to know. So Ramirez has done these cartoons for years, and you can go back, I guess maybe 10, 15 years and see his editorial cartoons day by day.
Okay.
Beautifully done. I mean, the artistry is magnificent. And but what's interesting is you go through the Obama years, and he was totally anti-Obama. I mean, he chastised him totally and everything during the thing. It was really great. But so much of this stuff is right. You can just go forward 6 or 7 years ago to today, and it's exactly, you could write the same cartoon almost. Really good stuff. So I don't
recall any.
Well, Ramirez. Once you see Ramirez, you can appreciate the magnificent artistry in the way he draws stuff. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And the same thing with Berkeley Brethren, who does Bloom County.
Right.
His stuff. I mean, his Michelangelo is how good he is on that kind of stuff. Seriously. Okay. So those are the little things that I wanted to bring up, and I'll have some more websites next time too. Finally, the big news out of Europe so far is today. Chancellor Angela Merkel decision to plunge the country back into a full-fledged lockdown, despite growing opposition. Now, if you've seen the opposition, they're rioting in the streets in Germany.
Well,
They're marching, so let me put it that way. I don't know about rioting. They're protesting.
okay. Yeah.
But anyway, this is an editorial, so you can tell because of the words, plunge the country back into with an economy-wrecking shutdown. Even schools will close, something that most European nations have tried to avoid. For now, at least, the lockdown will be short-lived. Now, I like this part. Under new measures, which will last from December 16th, which is like, real soon now, until January 10th. So that's about 3 weeks. Schools and non-essential shops across the country will be closed, including during the Christmas holiday. Hairdressers, beauty salons, and tattoo parlors will also close, while drinking alcohol in public will be banned. Now, I'll tell you, if you've ever been to Germany, you don't ban alcohol in public. I mean, you do in this town.
Really?
You can be arrested in this town for carrying an open container.
Yeah.
But, and not Germany. I'm sorry. You carry a beer, it's no big deal. This is something I think that's going to sink her thing. But I thought this was interesting that for some reason, the powers that be, namely Angela, has decided that a 3-week complete shutdown is going to fix things. Now, my question is, we now have to wait until the 16th, I guess, to find out. That'll be a couple of days before the inauguration. Oh, and which reminds me, tomorrow, the Electoral College meets.
Okay.
So that's tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll know who the president is.
Well, look, here's the thing. I keep saying this and said it from the beginning. The Supreme Court is either going to make a decision or a non-decision. This Texas thing does not bear on the entirety of the complaints that Trump has.
Okay.
It was literally just one thing. It's a kind of a crazy lawsuit. I
was curious. Now, was that the one that was 9-0? Or was that the one? Well, what was the one that was 7? Where Alito and what's his name? Whatever. Two of them, the two ultra-conservative justices abstained or wrote. There was one here. Another.
I didn't see one 7-2.
7-2. Whatever. Okay, go ahead.
All I know is that they denied Texas's lawsuit for standing purposes, which
makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it made perfect sense. What do you can't have standing when you're trying to tell another state what to do.
Exactly, and I mean that's a no-brainer. But people aren't. I mean, what the bottom line is that Trump still has a bunch of Supreme Court stuff to go through, and at some point
he's run out of time.
Well, but not yet. I mean, the time will run out, from my perspective, pretty much on January 21st.
Okay.
I mean, if the Supreme Court will either do something by then, or they will say, we have taken up a case and we are going to make a decision here imminently, an eminent decision imminently.
Yeah, okay.
That'll settle it one way or the other. So the electors can meet all they want. We can hear more and more, how Trump's lost 50-0 or something so far. None of it matters. And it won't matter until the Supreme Court.
Well, you say that, but I mean, you can imagine that the 78 million people that voted for Biden and the 70 million people that voted for Trump, whatever the numbers are, there's going to be a Grand Canyon split between those groups.
Well, too bad. I mean, suck it up, Buttercup.
See, people aren't sucking it up. That's the problem.
Look, I think the people on the right would suck it up, no problem. And the people on the left, though, obviously have convinced themselves that they are righteously opposed to Hitler. And I mean, I saw memes today on Twitter, where they're saying for the idiots here, this is fascism, and they post a picture of Hitler, and this is anti-fascism, and they had a picture of FDR.
Okay.
Unironically.
Yeah, okay.
Unironically, they're saying that FDR is their champion. This is the guy who interred 300,000 Japanese people.
Well, not only that, he was the one that made friends with Joseph Stalin. Oh yeah, Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe was our buddy.
Well, I mean, so what? That doesn't when you look at his policies. I mean, that to me is just Trump buddying up to dictators. He was just working him in his own way. He thought. You know, right? I mean, what did
Trump butting up? You mean Roosevelt?
Well, no, I'm saying it's the same accusation. It's a parallel accusation. It's like saying, I mean, you know, so he called him Uncle Joe or whatever. What did he do? What policy did he implement that Stalin would have appreciated? Now, we know that FDR tried a whole bunch of socialist policies that were shot down by the Supreme Court at that time.
Down, right?
And you know, just over and over again, it was a huge battle until he had a hand in placing 8 out of the 9 members of the court.
Right.
But the point is that this is the kids these days. Really, these kids that are doing like there's a new Chaz. You know, you've seen it.
I did see it.
Yeah, I mean
it's on private property.
Well, I don't know, but you know they've got barricades up and whatever, and they in their minds they legitimately think that they are, you know, the Wolverines, you know, the free America opposition type. Oh,
frozen again.
It's crazy. I don't know what is going on.
All right, it's no big deal. Go ahead.
But anyway, that is what they think, and you're right. They're going to cause some commotion.
Doesn't matter. I can talk. We'll just pretend that I'm talking through my mouth or something. So okay.
So
I need to freeze in a good position here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so they are going to do some rioting and such, and
you think?
Yeah, of course. But that should not be, you know, the people make this mistake. And I've heard Scott Adams said, well, I expect the Supreme Court to not put Trump in there because of the potential unrest.
Right.
You know? Now, I personally think he's just kidding himself. He's trying to throw, you know, he's trying to heal his wounds there. Scott seems to be licking his wounds this whole time, you know, since the election.
Right.
Because he predicted a blowout, basically. So now he's trying to figure out any way that it didn't happen. But the bottom line is that is even though that's a reasonable thing for the Supreme Court to consider, they're not going to use that as justification to give the election to somebody they don't think the election deserves to go to. Not going to happen.
No.
They would let whatever rioting happen. That would be just, if they really thought that the election should go to the other guy or can't be done the way that it had been done, you know, if they really think that the election was blown in some way that can't be checked, then
I just see it personally. I see it as though there could be riots on either side. Depending on how it goes, it'll be interesting.
I don't know. I mean, the thing about having riots in this situation is that there's no opposition.
Yeah, that's true.
There's nobody. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to storm downtown and take a business? I mean,
I would say could we level the Federal Reserve building?
Yeah, well, that was
building.
One of the best memes was a whole bunch of people, the Antifa people, did a die-in out in front of the Federal Reserve building.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, during the whole riot thing, and the meme, of course, was, Jesus, the one building you could have burned and everybody would have been happy about.
Yeah.
You know, and instead you decide for it to be a peaceful protest this time. You know, you're willing to, you know, burn grandma's house in the suburbs. But again, it's all for goodness and light.
Again, we're taking this day by day.
Yeah, it'll
tomorrow it'll be interesting to see what the mainstream says about the vote, the electoral college.
Right.
And of course, they're going to be all over that. You know, now it's absolutely guaranteed, 100% for sure.
Yeah.
Shut up, everybody else.
The media is trying their best.
Oh my God!
Man, I mean, Cuomo's out there. You know, America, you've won. You have won, America. Today, you won. You took back the country.
Now, which Cuomo is this?
This was Chris,
okay.
I think. Yeah,
I get confused. I tell you, there.
Yeah,
of course, you saw the new revelation about the girl that's accusing one of the Cuomos of you know, fondling or whatever.
Impropriety.
Yeah, I mean, really bad. You know, just total, really bad stuff. So
well,
you know, so he's
let her file a complaint if
right,
she wants
exactly,
to. You know,
exactly.
we got processes for this kind of stuff. You
That's
know?
right. Well, it'll be interesting. Okay,
but you can't believe anything for the next 40 days, still 37 days.
Yeah,
we're still in no man's land until the election is called.
Well, a lot of one of the pieces of news that I searched for it. Of course, we did hear the Swalwell business.
Yeah.
About Bang Bang Yang Yang or whatever.
You know that happened 5 years ago.
I know. It's all done. It was all complete. In 2015, it was he Ashkander. It was all done. So
Yeah.
that's old. That's old news. Super old
As
news.
soon as they briefed him, he
Right.
asked
He
him.
said he got rid of it.
Why
Now,
are we hearing about this in 2020?
I don't know.
I'm like, who gives a shit in 2020? What
I'd have
happened?
done her. I can tell you that. She was a
Fang,
fox.
fang.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
baby.
Hey, baby. I mean, you want
Mr.
to? Hey,
Elmore,
I'll
it seems you've fallen for every espionage trick that the.
That's right.
They
Say,
continuously
Jimmy,
send you hot girls.
I got state secrets. You want them? Here, they're right here.
That's right. I got them tattooed.
That's right.
Yeah. Look. So I don't know why we're hearing about Swalwell.
Well, what
now.
we're not hearing about, which is surprising to me, is the Hunter Biden China link. They're always talking about
Again, what I mean.
That's like recent, fairly recent.
Yeah, but again, there's no there from the standpoint of he's the kid of the vice president. Like, well, I mean, the only
Well, I know,
thing
but they have the thing about on the hard drive about the big guy, 20.
yeah, 20 grand. Well, so they're grifting a little bit.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
to me, it comes down to what are they doing that they wouldn't already have done, that they wouldn't also have done. You know, if you can tell me he got this money and then he changed. So he didn't even get a vote on something is the
Right.
problem, is that the vice president can't do shit. I mean, the biggest danger is some kind of blackmail. Like, we've got some dirty pictures of your boy, you know, and we're going to put him on the Facebook unless, yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, all right, we saw,
Yeah,
you
we
know.
already know that. You know, it's like when they try to nail Trump on stuff. You know,
Right.
You know,
Well-
he fondled some girl's pussy or what. And say, we
I
know that.
paid for that. I got a receipt.
Yeah.
That's his defense. Well, you know, look, so I don't see anything. I mean, that's a nothing burger. I mean, the real story right now is the shutdown, like how they are able to shut people down. And you're seeing some people fight. There's that one Jim is still getting arrested and released, and they're up over 1.2 million in fines at this point.
Jesus.
The guy, now they have a new video of them with the gym open. You know, the guy's inside and it's being retweeted. He's getting, so hopefully I'm sure that they'll get a GoFundMe to do their legal fees and stuff.
I'm sure they will too, but I can't imagine that this is cruel and unusual punishment. I mean, $1.2 million fines. You got to be kidding me.
Well, it's the power to destroy. As we know, the power to tax is the power to destroy.
Right.
And they outlined that in McCullough versus Maryland 200 years ago. They knew it then. The municipal people know it now. They know they're trying to destroy this business. They're doing everything in their power, everything within legal bounds to destroy the business.
And what they do now, of course, is as you see, and they pull their license.
They pulled their license. They've locked the place. They've changed the locks. The guys have busted back in. They've been arrested. They've been released on condition that
he's trans whatever on his own property.
Right, trespassing.
Trespassing.
That's right. Well, in violation of a court order, now they were released under condition that they would not reopen. They reopened anyway. You know, these guys are doing it the American way, which is, look, man. We're doing our thing.
Total civil disobedience.
That's it. We're doing our thing. If you want to come down here and bust our chops, you know, that's fine, but we're gonna do our thing. You know, like you can come down here and smash all our liquor bottles if you want to, you know, and then we're gonna open up the speakeasy the next night, you know.
Jesus.
And that's where we're at. But it's crazy that it's a gym.
Yeah.
It's a health place.
Yeah, right.
You know?
We're against health.
I mean, yeah, seriously. Like, it's a gym, and then just to think of all the people who didn't fight. You know, all the restaurants. I mean, restaurants. I have worked at a bunch of restaurants, and they teeter on the brink on a regular basis. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
All you have to do is drive around your hometown and look at where the things used to be.
Oh,
you know?
totally.
And you're like, oh, okay, it used to be this used to be that.
Oh, we have places here in town that used to be five. You can name 5 places.
At least you have to go back through. What was it before that? Okay, I know where that was. Yeah, and so restaurants every single time, and they have gotten clobbered. And you know, you got that one woman who's got her viral video out in California because the craft services for the movie people were about to do a a 50-person tent,
Oh, right. Yeah.
buffet.
Yeah, right.
Which
Exactly.
those things I love. God, there's nothing better than craft services on the movie sets.
Okay.
You get like steak to order and it can be everything. If the star is really famous, you get like lobster. I mean, it's crazy
Yeah.
for lunch. But you gotta sit. There's a whole bunch of extras. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, where are
Right.
you gonna put? We're gonna have a crowd scene. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got to involve a crowd.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see if people keep fighting back. But that's the big story is the coming economic collapse.
Somebody was talking about something like 20% of the small businesses in this country are never coming back.
Well, and to be honest, they shouldn't, from the standpoint of there were a bunch of businesses that were weak out there, and there's always a filtering out process.
Always there is,
and
right.
there was, more.
Still frozen.
I don't understand. There was more free money that has emerged into the market in the last decade and a half, which has caused people, I'm confident, to speculate on all kinds of business ventures.
Oh yeah, no, the fact is it's become a gambling economy. It's been a total gamble economy. It's because you can't earn any decent. When you invest in a company and they're paying 1% or 2% or something, you can't live on that when you've been living on 5% or something like that. I mean, the problem is that if you want to have a return on your money, you have to gamble on something like a growth stock, and then hopefully you can sell it for more than you paid for it. But it's your guess as good as anybody's.
Yeah. Well, I don't know when these how long companies are going to last if they.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. I guess starting in January. I guess we'll see the start of the real reset. I'm not sure. Of course, now the reset is all is got a bad name. Everybody's talking. What's a reset? Scott Adams was talking about this. What the hell is this?
Well, there's something called the Great Reset, which has been circulated as a potential, I don't know, conspiracy or something like that. But we know where
worldwide conspiracy.
Well, yeah. I mean, look. I'm sure there are dozens of people for every conspiracy sitting in a basement somewhere thinking, "Hey, wouldn't this be great?" And I'm sure, and from my inference from what I hear about the Great Reset, it's a group of people who the concept is to squash the old economy and then institute UBI and that kind of stuff.
That'll work.
That's not going to work at all.
No, that's make everybody a serf.
Well, it just would never even begin to work.
All right, let me move on.
Keep going.
Unless you, I did notice a piece of news, and of course, unfortunately, I didn't get it. I didn't get what it was, but the Zodiac Killer cipher was cracked.
Yeah, I saw that.
51 years ago.
Yeah. So was it really cracked? And
don't know. Nobody said, because what I'm saying, it was cracked supposedly by private people. I was looking for the algorithm or whatever the substitution was to crack it.
Right.
But what I did hear was that what it said was, "You won't catch me, ha ha ha," something like that. Again, who knows? They've been tried for 51 years, and I think the guy is still on the most wanted list. Okay, 51 years, he's dead. All right, and I thought this was interesting that the Zodiac Killer was responsible for 5 murders in the San Francisco area between 68 and 69. Now, somebody said, well, he might have done 30 more or something but they don't know. But here's the deal. This is 1968 and 69, and this made news, and the Zodiac Killer, maybe he's still around. 51 years, he's dead. And I don't think you have to worry about it. So, I don't know. I'm going to come back to one thing. Apparently, the Department of Justice is going to investigate Hunter Biden.
Yeah, apparently they've had an investigation up for 2 years.
Yeah, right. And on the Burmesa stuff, that was on that stuff.
Well, yeah, and they've got a broader thing.
Yeah, that was
whatever.
What was he doing making $50,000? Yeah, of course he had access.
Well, we talked about that before.
That, yeah.
Look, I mean, he brought in $2 billion for their company, so he was worth every bit of $50,000 a month. You know?
The next item has to do a little bit has to do with the COVID business. We'll get to the vaccine here in a minute, but I saw something that went viral. Was a family was kicked off a United Airlines flight after a 2-year-old refused to wear a mask.
Yeah.
A 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Now, it turns out that the Center for Disease Control says, if you're under 5, you really shouldn't be required to do it. But the kid was, the 2-year-old, okay? The kid, and he was screaming. And, of course, the father was trying to hold the mask on the face. And they finally just came around and they said, was this such a move routine? And the guy who was kicking him off, the attendant, said, if there's non-compliance, okay, well, that's the worst thing that I just thought it was interesting that the little girl, 2 years old, and the husband booted off.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, obviously what's happened is they've managed to demonize not wearing a mask to the extent that, I guess in the people who are pro-masks mind, the difference is something like some order of magnitude better, or some multiple, like you're twice as protected if you wear a mask or something like that, as opposed to like 2% more protected or 10% more protected or something. I mean, I'm with you. They've gone, all the people with the rule stuff about zero tolerance. I mean, that's obviously maybe the parents were being bitches at the same time.
I don't. From what I understand, because this video, the wife videoed it, I think. But,
yeah.
But here's the deal. Apparently, before they boarded, the attendant there, before they punch your ticket, she said, "How old's your little girl?" And they said 2, and she said, "Well, she's got to wear a mask," and gave him a mask.
Right.
So they got on. And they were trying to put the mask on the little girl. She was screaming her brains out.
Yeah.
Didn't want to wear it. So the father, starts to hold the mask over the kid or whatever. And this was not acceptable. So because she wasn't actually.
Well, I know that's the story and everything. And if that's what it is, that's ridiculous. And I mean, and obviously maybe that's why it's viral. So.
Yeah, that could very well be. Well, I thought one thing though, if I'd been sitting in the seat next to him and this girl was screaming her head off. Yeah, you can go. You can leave.
Well, right, exactly. That's what I mean. Sometimes airlines use their rules as an excuse because it's convenient. They get somebody who's out of control, and they're like, they don't have the right shoes on. You're out of here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I saw where one girl was walking in there, and her shoulders were exposed, or she had cleavage or something, and they booted her off for inappropriate dress.
Right. That's happened a fair amount.
Okay, now we're coming down to the line here. I did notice that Boeing has pledged $1 million for Joe Biden's inauguration. Now, you understand it's going to be a virtual inauguration. There's no parades, no nothing. It's not going to be a big stand speech or whatever. It's all social distancing and everything. I'm wondering, $1 million? What's that for? I mean, Boeing, you want
whatever you want.
Is there any? I don't know. Do you suppose there's any quid pro quo in that?
What?
Now I know it's hard to believe.
It's not like Boeing stands up for some military.
Well, they got the 737 Max, and maybe they want to make sure there's no more suits on that or something. So that's great. The UK going downhill. A group in there calls for a one-time wealth tax.
What?
Yeah, as the ultra-wealthy taxes grow. The UK I love this, there's a wealth tax commission.
Okay.
There's a bunch of people that are wealth tax commission. The experts behind the report say the proposed measure would raise about $350 billion in UK money. And of course, it turns out that it wouldn't be the first time the UK used to have a wealth tax before, and that was one of the things that happened that was bad. In the old days, they had a wealth tax, and when people would die, and the inheritance tax was so much that they had to sell their estates because or open up to. That's one of the reasons you get to tour some of the estates over there, is because that's the only way they can make the money. So I thought that but a wealth tax is probably, and of course it's a one time. Now they've done it before. So
Yeah,
this is
right,
not the first.
exactly.
Yeah, they've done it before, but it's a one time. Yeah, it looks to me like that. Okay, and one of the last things I've got here, let me just make sure it is, one of the last things I got here is Pfizer has shipped the coronavirus vaccine from Michigan. This is the shipments officially set in motion. The biggest vaccination effort in America so far. I don't know, there's 300 million, whatever it is, 3,000 million doses are expected to be sent out. And they've cut, the priority, of course, is healthcare workers and nursing home residents as infections, hospitalizations, and deaths soar in the U.S. with numbers likely to get worse over the holidays. And of course, this is what I like about the reporting. We're looking at likely to get worse, not going to calm it down. But, and of course, they said the pandemic that has killed nearly 300,000 Americans. That's the thing there. The first shipments will be staggered, arriving in 45 distribution centers on Monday, that's tomorrow, and then a bunch more on Tuesday and Wednesday and so forth. And the vaccine was co-developed by a German partner and is being doled out on each state's adult population. So if you live in New Mexico, good luck.
Here's a graph of New York's COVID cases.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Here it goes down here. This is where Fauci said New York did it right. This is where Cuomo writes his book. And here is the upswing here.
You know what happened was he probably infected the book.
It's something. I don't know. And then here, you'll love this. This is, of course, fashion adapting to the times here.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Little matching knit mask here, which presumably does not much, if anything.
But it looks good.
Oh my God! It
That's
looks like
thing.
it looks like
No,
it looks like a
it looks
freaking
horrible.
nightmare. It's just amazing. Let's see, I got something else here. Okay, this is the counter advertisement here. Okay, this is the NHS shows a picture of Santa Claus on a ventilator.
Oh God.
To make sure that you feel bad about it. You're killing
It's interesting because I guess, is this going to be a virtual, Santa Claus is going to be a virtual, leave the presents on the next to the chimney or
I guess,
out the front door?
I think it is. I think that's the thing there. And then this is New Chaz.
Oh yeah. Now this is in Portland again, right?
Yeah.
So they're not satisfied with downtown Portland. They moved over someplace else.
I mean, it looks like they got a little, it looks like they got one square block between this shell of a building and
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just so pathetic, I think to myself, God, if we really needed a revolution, I hope it's not these guys who are leading us into battle here with their pointy sticks and shit.
Pointy sticks. That's right.
I mean, come on, man. You gotta be kidding me. Also, let me see if I got you saw, I just played the UK response to their jab mandate. Let's see, here's a new Chaz. This is a little video of the outside of it, I guess.
Jesus.
So
They got they got the barriers there. I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, you call them barriers.
They're not a spike stick.
Well, these are boards held down with rocks.
Okay, woo, boy, that's... Don't want to go over that.
That's right, and the boards have nails in them, I guess. And they're telling the colonizers to F off while they're colonizing this piece of land here.
Well, I guess this is like squatters.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I guess you can just walk around the barrier here, which is what this guy's gonna do. And there's one of the sentry crack guards right there. He is on his iPhone. Fascism is capitalism in decay. So
what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it means whatever they want it to mean,
That's
I
pretty
guess.
much right.
Man, I mean, you gotta be kidding me. That's just so sad. But here, even sadder, this is the tent city, basically. I say city. The whole city is tents in LA. I mean, now this is Venice Beach, and Venice Beach was always like this. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger here. Venice Beach always had tents everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, for decades.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but
I mean, I thought it was like Hippieville or something.
it is. And so, like, what you would have is some hippie coming from, like, some other hippie place, and then they would just camp on the beach.
Right.
Right? But, you know, it was, and this is what it would look like, but it looks to me like there's about, well, I mean, this doesn't look too many more tents than there were when I was there in 2016. You know, these people would have little wares and stuff. Maybe there's a few more. Maybe there's twice as many tents or something like that. But
The only thing I remember about Venice Beach is the picture that I always saw was some scantily clad girl on roller skates going down the
right, this is the
boardwalk.
promenade right here.
Yeah.
This is this guy's on the boardwalk, and that's what he's trying to show is all these tents and stuff are
Okay.
right up on the boardwalk, which they always were, and that's why this boardwalk smells like pee.
Ah.
And it's just, you know, these people are pitching their wares half the time too. They've made some trash out of some other trash, and they're selling it, you know, for
This is artwork?
oh yeah, this is I mean, artwork with the loosest set of quote marks. I mean, you
But
just
what's interesting is this is capitalism.
well, I mean, to some extent. Now the problem here is that they've outlawed taking the people off of the streets. So you can't kick these people off of the streets.
Well, and who outlawed what?
The city changed the rule basically that said you can't outlaw. I mean, you can't.
Why would they do that? I mean, what's that all about?
Well, it's a humanitarian measure. The concept is they're people, and you know, like they got to the point, and as they did around here, where they would have like roundups when
Right.
you know a president would visit or something, or they were going to do a photo op at the park, or even they had to do a photo shoot. You know, in California, they'll do a commercial down at the beach or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go pay the homeless people to get lost. You know, and so
They're already lost, but I mean, yeah.
well, right, get lost somewhere else.
Yeah, that's it.
And so, you know, you can do a little bit of that, but they had that in place so that people could, and the municipalities could move you out of the park up until just a couple of years ago. And then they decided that was inhumane, that is, people had a right to be on public property, even if they were...
It's public property, you know.
It is. Well, exactly. And I mean, to the extent, I mean, it does satisfy that letter of the law there. And I mean, there is something to be said for the concept that, look, if you're going to call property public, well,
Right.
you know, shit. I mean,
Yeah.
and you know, it's not private. Of course, I mean, what it should be is, of course, all this land should be sold privately to all these people.
That's right.
And then they should control it however they want because it's private. Including the fucking roads and stuff. You know, if they want to have all their roads be one way, that's how they should do it. But you know, right now, of course, who owns it is the city, and this is their idea of
And of
ownership.
course, the city being such great stewards
Right.
of conservation and
Well, this is their concept.
that's right.
This is
their concept.
This is the
way
best they can do.
preserving life.
That's it.
That's right, and health and everything. And no COVID there, and
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I guess they had spikes and stuff, but of course, you know, they talk about these severe lockdowns, but there are exceptions like that stuff right there. I mean, they literally they literally have the homeless people accepted from the lockdowns.
Yeah. Well, they do have, it's interesting because here locally,
Science.
locally for the past 20 years or so, we've had a 10-year plan to eliminate homelessness. And they've tried everything. I mean, they spent a ton of money.
And now it's double.
It's doubled, right. It's double. I mean, really, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just, it took them 11 years to get the plan activated, where they put a special place out there where people could go and get help and so forth. So, well, that place didn't last long at all. I mean, they had trouble. The sheriff was out there all the time. Now, of course, the homeless are almost living on all our intersections.
Right. They moved to the intersection.
They moved to the intersection. You can't go past an intersection where there's at least one, maybe two people at different corners.
At the big intersections, and sometimes half a dozen or more.
Yeah. And it's funny because they are, they're like living there almost. I mean, you can see they've got a bicycle with a little trailer on it with all their shit in it.
Right.
And stuff like that. So, and then they got the sign, all the signs are all over the place.
And this is the reason why minimum wage laws shouldn't exist.
That's right.
Because you could hire these people to do something. Clean up the area, and they would do it for $5 or something. But anyway. All right, so that's all you got there?
That's it.
Okay, well, shit. I can't believe your picture didn't ever come back.
Well, I can.
How can I?
I'm being
shadow banned.
Shadow banned. That's not only shadow. Shadow is complete ban. What did you do?
Looks like we covered all of the stuff that I was going to do.
Okay, well, we're done. We'll come back anyway later and do something.
Yup. All right. Hey, thanks, Kevin MacLeod, for these tracks. We appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. If you did, hope you had some fun. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I swear it was working right up until we started.
Is that because I came in here?
I don't know what that is.
Facial recognition
it's
and
just
ban this face?
Gotta test it out or something. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, 200 shows in, we start having problems with the with the technical.
Yeah.
We didn't change anything, much.
Something.
So, all right. Anyway, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.